Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some Element Cup battles for you featuring Chikorita, Ducklett and Chinchou. This is basically a pretty sort of standard ABB team, grass double water, where I'm looking to basically align my Chinchou onto my opponent's Ducklett and my own Ducklett onto basically everything else, and hopefully the Chikorita onto a Chinchou. Into the first battle, we've got Chikorita into Ducklett. This isn't as bad as it may look on paper. Obviously, you have to watch out for the Brave Bird. If they do throw it, then of course it's going to be one shot on you. But if they do throw the Brave Bird and you manage to shield it, they will have no energy and basically be forced to switch out because your body slams will basically one shot them. So in this case, the opponent does that, swaps into their Bulbasaur, so I'm able to save all my energy on my Chikorita and swap out into my Ducklett to take out the Bulbasaur and basically align myself up. I do have to go 2 shields down because the Bulbasaur's um, seed bombs will do a lot of damage to me. But even with 2 shields and the energy I've got here, this is still going to be fairly close. Shadow Vulpix with 2 shields advantage is deadly. I get super unlucky here. I don't quite manage to get to the second bubble beam. If I had got the second bubble beam off here, I think I could have then sort of done really well in this. But my one body slam doesn't quite do enough, and I think I was right to throw one and try and get the final shield there. But we end up simultaneously KOing each other with the wing attacks and the quick attacks with the Vulpix and Ducklett. So super fun battle there. Into game 2 here, we have now Chinchou into Ducklett. I'm basically able to take the Brave Bird and farm all the way down. My opponent now will come back in with their own Chinchou, which was the lead matchup with my Chikorita. I'm able to throw one for Thunderbolt here, which gets the shield, and I'm actually able to get to the second one, which is superb. Dealing most of the damage there before going down. I'm then able to soak up all of the energy from the opponent's Chinchou onto my Chikorita, and they have a Vulpix and Shadow Vulpix in the back. This time though, I have the shield advantage, and I have the matchup advantage with Ducklett into Vulpix here. I throw the Bubble Beam straight away to debuff the attack. I shield the first body slam there, knowing that I'm going to debuff, so take less damage from subsequent body slams. And again, I'm shielding that one because I'm going to debuff again, thus making the next body slam do less damage. My opponent there, though, does forfeit as they know it's game over. Into the next one here, we have Chikorita into Cottony, probably the hardest matchup. I basically go into the Ducklett straight away here to draw out the Chinchou. I Brave Bird, which they actually ended up shielding, which is kind of good for me in a sense. I can then come into my Chikorita and hopefully farm up as much as I can. Unfortunately, though, these bubble beams do start to sort of add up with the attack drops and Thunderbolt. Because this is the little cup, it still does lots of damage. So my opponent lets their Chinchou go there. They come back in with their Cottony to start charming away. And I'm going to spam these body slams as much as I can. Unfortunately there, I don't manage to get the second body slam off there. I think if I had gotten that one off, this matchup might have played out a little bit different. But they've got a Clauncher in the back. I'm not quite sure why they swapped out of their Cottony there, but they ended up doing. I managed to farm down the um, Clauncher there. If I had gone straight Thunderbolt here and landed that, I think I could have won this. I just don't quite have enough HP, and unfortunately, there was nothing really good to shield there either. So a little bit unlucky. Maybe if I'd shielded the first Thunderbolt from the Chinchou onto my Chikorita, it could have been totally different. But hindsight is wonderful. Into the next match here, we have Chikorita into Chinchou again. Opponent swaps in Execute, and I've got my Ducklett here now. They managed to get the boost on the Ancient Power, which was super unfortunate for me. I'm going to debuff their attack while they shield just before I go down to the Confusions, which ended up obviously doing a lot more damage, and my wing attacks and Bulb Beam were doing less damage there. I then come into my Chikorita here to try and farm up as much as I can. Both of my Pokemon here are not too great. Unfortunately, with the defensive boost from Ancient Power, the Execute just ends up doing too much damage to me. I then swap out, throw the Grass Knot, which still does a lot of damage there, which was nice. Swap instantly into my Chinchou here, basically trying to get energy advantage. They let the Thunderbolt go, which was huge for me, and I managed to shield up their Thunderbolt. And now they just have a Ducklett. I want to throw the Bubble Beam straight away to lower the attack. It does grab the shield, but the main objective there was to debuff the attack so that I can survive a Brave Bird and farm them down with Spark. Into the next one here, we have Chikorita into Shadow Execute. I go straight into my Ducklett here, trying to draw out the Chinchou. I go straight for the Brave Bird, hoping to do as much damage as I can, and I'm hoping there to get to the Bubble Beam, but my opponent throws just before I do, which actually works out quite well for me, as I'm able to wait out the clock here and start farming up with my own Chikorita here. I do have to eat one Bubble Beam, but that's okay. The attack drop is bad, but we can work around that one. It's not horrendous. They then come in with their Ducklett. I immediately throw the Grass Knot as I'm ahead on energy, and I'm fairly sure they won't want to shield up the first one anyway, and they go straight for the Bubble Beam for some reason. I then swap out into my Chinchou here to clear the 2 debuff on my own Chikorita, and come in with my Chinchou to start debuffing the Execute, which swapped in. I'm able to debuff initially, and now I'm wanting to try and get as much damage as I can or a shield. So I Thunderbolt straight away here, and they decide to let that go. I then shield up the incoming Seed Bomb, and I get super unlucky here, don't quite get the farm down, and they're able to hit me with another Seed Bomb, which almost takes me out. The opponent here still has a shield, so they use it on the Body Slam there, and unfortunately I just don't have quite enough HP to throw the next Body Slam. Into the next match here, we have Shadow Bulbasaur versus our Chikorita. I swap immediately out into our Ducklett again. In comes the opposing Chinchou. Once again, they let the Brave Bird go. I don't quite get to the Bubble Beam there, and my opponent now throws the Thunderbolt, and I can successfully farm down the Chinchou. Back in comes in the Ducklett now, so I go straight for the Grass Knot, trying to apply as much pressure as I can onto the shields, and I do manage to get the first shield there, and I do just live enough to fire off the Body Slam here, which the opponent then shields up again, which I think was a mistake. So I've got 2 shields and the rest of the team for my Chinchou to beat. Thankfully, though, they swap back into their Bulbasaur. I can easily shield the first Seed Bomb and Thunderbolt straight away to kill it due to the shadow, sort of debuff. Sorry, they obviously take 20% more damage, so easily able to finish off the Bulbasaur with a resisted Thunderbolt there, and we take the win there. Into the next game here, we've got Chikorita against Shadow Vulpix, so we instantly swap out to our Ducklett again. They, for some reason, decides to stay in. They obviously don't have a Chinchou, maybe. I'm not quite sure what their plan was. They then take a Bubble Beam after I shield the Body Slam, and they come in with their Ducklett. I immediately go for the Brave Bird, which they shield. And because I'm on so much HP anyway, I'm able to get a lot of wing attack damage down, and because they decided to throw Bubble Beam, I'm able to get to the second Brave Bird here, which they have to shield. I can then come in with my hard counter for the Ducklett, which is the Chinchou, and they, for some reason, decide to Bubble Beam me. I'm just going to be looking to farm all the way down to get as much damage as I can. They then go for the Brave Bird, and I'm able to almost take out, but they swap out into the Vulpix, which then I'm able to knock out straight away with the Bubble Beam. Back in comes the Ducklett, and I think they made a mistake at that point, and they said thank you very much. Into the next one here, Chikorita into Chinchou, instant swap out to Ducklett from my opponent, and in comes my own Chinchou to hard counter the Ducklett. I Bubble Beam just to reduce the damage on the Brave Bird, which I know is coming. I obviously no shield it, definitely with the debuff there, and I'm looking to farm down. They do end up getting to a Bubble Beam, which is a little bit sad to debuff my attack, but we are able to successfully farm it down. In comes their own Chinchou now. I'm able to throw the Thunderbolt straight away, which they no shield, and I'm just looking to do as much damage as I can. I thought I was going to get to the Thunderbolt there, unfortunately not, so I end up throwing the Bubble Beam to debuff the attack. They then swap out to their Salandit, and I swap in with my Ducklett to basically hardwall this one. After the poison sort of jab slash poison fang nerf, Salandit is a lot worse now. Not unviable at all, but instead of instead of 5 poison jabs as it was before, it's now 6. So one extra fast move, especially against a Ducklett who's getting to the bubble beam every 5 wing attacks, um, it's just not great. It's not a great matchup in even shields anymore, as it maybe used to be beforehand. Anyway, that's my first sort of team that I've come up with for the Element Cup. I will hopefully be showcasing a couple more teams throughout the week. One which I think you will really like, and one that we're having super fun with having discussions about. So look forward to them. If you could leave a like and subscribe on the video and the channel, leave a comment with what teams you are running and any ideas on either how I can improve or any team suggestions would be superb. And I will catch you guys next time.